We're live. Oh, maybe I got yours on. Oh gosh.
This one. Oh, how about now?
Here we go.
Okay.
Turn it down a little bit.
Okay. All right. Okay, let's try this again.
All right.
Hold on. We're here. We're here. Talk to the people.
Okay. Like I said, we're every time.
Every time.
You
Every
guys get to
time. Every
see
time. Every
how
time.
the
Every
sausage
time.
is made.
It's made. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, we gonna come on here. Mm, mm, Welcome, welcome, welcome back to another voyage. Welcome back to At the Helm with Kelly and Wayne.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Wayne.
Figuring out what's happening here.
Did y'all hear that? Did you hear that?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why. We don't want to. We don't want to hear it. I don't know why we're
Anybody watching us ready to give me my big break? This is what you get.
We ain't gonna never get the big break like this.
This is what you get.
But we here. We here.
And we are. And we're in it together.
We're in it together. We in it together. And
Let's go together.
and there we go. We are 56 days out. 56 days. Do you have a plan?
To early voting. To early voting.
To early voting. And do you have a plan?
So the original plan was to kick off the show with this clip. So we can go ahead and roll clip number 1, please.
Clip number 1 is coming.
I don't hear anything. All right, all right. Voice of none other than Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer, one of the great civil rights icons of this era, absolutely one of my favorites. That was her speech 60 years ago to the day, on this day, that she showed up at the Democratic National Convention, demanding that they seat the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. The powers that be in Mississippi, that was 40% Black at the time, had decided that Black people could not participate in the voting process. And so there were no Black delegates in a state that was 40% Black that went to the Democratic National Convention. So Fannie Lou Hamer showed up with this. Now, the people who are always talking about and trying to start a third party, this is how you do it. This is how you show up with power. So Fannie Lou Hamer went down to the Democratic National Convention, demanded that they be seated. This is the whole story. I don't want to tell the whole story because it's kind of long. We've been telling y'all to get a Sirius XM subscription. That's $1 for $1 a month right now. Clay Kane did a masterful laying out of this story today on his show today. But it just kind of goes back to, and this is where we don't get muddied in the water with Democrats and Republicans, because Black people were Republicans. Frederick Douglass was a Republican. Martin Luther King was a Republican. And the Democrats were the party of, I'll say, the most racism, because both parties were racist. I'm going to say the Democrats were the party of the most blatant, overt racism at that time. And so Lyndon B. Johnson was the Democratic president at the time. He signed the Voter Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act, which made racist white people upset. So they started leaving the Democratic Party, started the Dixiecrat Party with the Southern Strategy, kind of kicked Black people out of the Republican Party. And so Black people then found people that they could hold accountable in the Democratic Party once the racists came out, and then the racists found themselves in the arms of the Republican Party, where they've been ever since. Now, we always hear people talk about Black people who need to get off the Democratic plantation. This is what they always say. But not since 1964 have white people voted anything other than Republican in a majority bloc. There has been no Democratic president who has ever carried the majority of the white vote. Again, it all goes back to narrative. They always win the narrative. So they're always talking about Black people on a plantation. White people, as a majority, vote Republican and have done so since the 60s. So don't talk to me about plantations and same set of mind and being sheeple. Okay? Don't talk to me about that, because I see you. So Fannie Lou Hamer went down. And if you heard, she said, we tried to register. She said, we tried to register. They weren't even voting. We tried to register to be first-class citizens. And they were given literacy tests, brought up on trumped up charges, pun intended, about a bus being the wrong color. Fannie Lou Hamer was eventually beaten almost to death. And also that people could have the right to vote. One of the things that I like about Fannie Lou Hamer, she's one of my favorites. Like I said, she didn't get started. She wasn't an activist at 16. She wasn't an activist at 21. She wasn't an activist at 30. She didn't get really involved until her 40s. But when she decided that enough was enough, and you might have heard this saying, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." That's Fannie Lou Hamer. When she got tired of being sick and tired, she got in the fight and she stayed there. And you might have heard her say she lost her home just because she was trying to register to vote. She knew that her life was in danger only because she was trying to register to vote. And so I wonder, what would Fannie Lou Hamer say today to people who don't have the obstacles of taking a literacy test? For people who don't have the obstacle of being evicted from their home. From people who don't have the threat of death for trying to register and vote. What would Fannie Lou Hamer say to us today for people who decide that they're not going to participate in a system that, regardless of whether you participate or not, governs your life? There's no way to escape being governed by the people who make laws and policies. So I don't really understand the people who decide that they don't want to be a part of it. And I really don't understand when we hear from people like Fannie Lou Hamer, who 60 years ago caused a president to have an impromptu press conference because she was showing America itself. She was holding up a mirror to America so that they could see themselves. And she said, is this America? Where we have to sleep with our telephones off the hook because our lives be threatened every day? And we have people who right now do not want to participate in this experiment that is American politics. I get upset about that. People are free to do what they want to do, of course. But I don't understand it. and I feel like, because we didn't used to always talk about politics, you didn't, this is not a conversation that you used to have with your friends. And probably because the power structure told us not to talk about it. Politics and religions, those are things that you're not supposed to talk about because the power structure don't want us to figure out that we all have these things in common. Because when we figure out we have these things in common, we figure out where the real power is. And so we, in the past, have not talked to our friends and our families about politics, but now we talk about it all the time. So I'm hearing more about people who say, I'm not going to vote. Wayne and I were actually we were doing a voter registration event last week. We were just asking people to walk by, do you want a copy of the early voting schedule, which in North Carolina starts in 56 days. We go to the polls in 56 days in North Carolina for early voting.
Do you have a plan?
Anyway, we were asking. And so if this was a young lady who came by and she said, oh, I don't believe in that. Ma'am. And I said, young lady, we found out she was 26 years old. She's 26 years old. She's missed several elections. She is part of a marginalized community because of the type of event that we were at, and you say, I don't believe in that. It makes no sense to me. So needless to say, Wayne got to register to vote. So go Wayne. So we just kind of wanted to kick that off. It is symbolic today because tonight we have Kamala Harris, the first Black woman to be at the top of a major ticket, is going to accept the nomination for president of these United States. And 60 years ago, on this same night, Fannie Lou Hamer showed up at a Democratic National Convention demanding that they give her a seat at the table. And they ended up giving them 2 seats, but she had traveled with more than 2 people, and Fannie Lou Hamer said, what we look like taking 2 seats when all us is tied? Give us our due. And so that is your little history lesson for today. Please look up Fannie Lou Hamer. We can talk about Fannie Lou Hamer probably for at least this next hour. But I just wanted to highlight 60 years ago tonight, Fannie Lou Hamer was out fighting for the people at the detriment of her family.
Yes.
She was a sharecropper. She was not someone who had a lot of money. She was being taken advantage of as a sharecropper. And no sooner than she gets home from trying to register to vote, her landlord evicts her and her family. That did not stop her. So I say all that to say we don't have any excuse. We don't have any excuse. I hope that all of you are talking to all of your family and friends. This is an important election, and we say that at every election because every election is the most important election of our lifetime.
Every one of them.
Everyone is. So please talk to your family, talk to your friends, find out what their plan is for voting. If it's voting day, fine. If it is going to be early voting, whatever county you live in during early voting, you can vote at any polling place in that county. So if there's a polling place close to your job during early voting, pop in there and vote. If there's a polling place close to where you pick up your children during early voting, pop in there and vote. If there's a polling place on your way home, pop in there and vote. Any place in your county during early voting, you can vote. On voting day, you have to go to your polling place. Check your voter status. Make sure that you have not been purged from the rolls. That is one of the tricks of the enemy this season. Make sure that your voter registration is up to date. Check it every week. But on voting day, you have to go to your polling place with your ID in North Carolina, that is. With your ID, go to your polling place and cast your vote for, in North Carolina, governor.
Lieutenant governor.
Let governor rest.
That's quick.
Let governor rest.
That ought to be a quick.
We're voting down ballot. We vote for president. We vote for governor. We vote for all of these. I'm starting to get all this hate mail in my district for the person that's running for the congressional seat, the state congressional seat, the state Senate seats. Every congressperson in Washington, D.C. is up for election. We're going to the polls and we're going to cast our vote. We are going to be involved.
Yes.
We are going to be involved. We are not sitting on the sidelines. We are not allowing people to tell us what they're going to do to us while we sit around and do nothing. Probably all of us have somebody in their life who says, I'm not going to vote. Some people you can't save. Okay?
But try.
Try it. But Harriet can save everybody. She wanted to.
Don't be like Harriet.
Harriet kept coming back. She kept coming back. Not everybody was ready. But the people that you can talk to them. We don't try to beat them over the head. Too bad. But this is important. So I don't want to keep going on because really I could absolutely go on and on and on and on.
Forever and ever, never, never, never.
Forever and ever and ever.
Yes. Good information.
So hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
So we're back. And I just want to say I hope everyone got through the storms okay. I hope everyone is healthy, wealthy, wise. We do know that COVID is back on the rise, so hope you all are being diligent with your mask out in public. Have your boosters up to date. COVID is back.
It's back.
I actually took a test before we came on the air. I'm negative, but my friends will be glad to know I'm negative.
Won't they?
My friends will be glad to know. But I was just kind of feeling, kind of loopy a little bit today. So we took the test. So I hope you all are taking care of yourselves, taking care of your family. COVID is out there. It's not gone. Again, elections have consequences. Had somebody to get rid of a whole pandemic unit.
Yes.
And we ended up in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes.
And then he told us to inject bleach.
And light.
Voting matters.
To everybody.
Voting has consequences. So anyway, we're back. We're back we're back here. So
but this week, we kind of gotta we said a couple weeks ago we weren't gonna really try to keep talking about this, but we cannot not talk about this. Because it's really what's happening. Glad to see everybody on. Glad to see everyone here. So got
Anybody want to come up and have a conversation with us? Just let me know. Hit me up in the chat, and I'll bring you up, and we can just have a conversation.
yeah. Are you gonna bring them through there or through here?
Yeah, I don't know.
You let me know.
bring it through
I'll
there.
shoot the invite.
Yeah.
Who
Let me know who wants to come.
who wants to come and join us?
Hey, Pam.
To have a conversation, talk about anything you want to talk about. Anybody been watching any of the convention this week?
I just want to say, and there's no, I don't know, this won't be a shock to anybody that I'm biased. The Democratic National Convention has been lit. It has been up this week. Like in my bedroom, I can feel the energy. I can feel the energy. Like I'm standing up in the middle of my floor watching the speeches. Michelle Obama, Michelle
been the best.
LaVon Robinson Obama. I think she just unleashed LaVon Robinson on us the other night. She came straight from the south side of Chicago. Her black girl magic with the braids in her hair, with the ponytail looped up.
She did that thing.
She came to give it to us. And she did. She was not pulling no punches. No, okay.
She was good. Probably the best.
And what Michelle Obama told us to do? Something. Do something. So if you whatever it is, y'all know me. I ain't knocking on nobody's doors. Not doing that. But if that's your thing, knock on some doors, talk to your neighbors. I will do some phone banking. I might even get back into making a donation to my candidates. I haven't been doing that because why? And I didn't really have any candidates. But I'm in it. I'm in it now. Like I know that this is not a spectator sport, that it is something that we have to get out and do. So I'm ready. But the convention it's been a nonstop pep rally all week. Like you watch it, and then the next day you talk about it, and then in a few hours you watch it again, and then you talk about what happened, and then you watch it again. So tonight, excited to and it's even funny for me to say I'm excited because I haven't been. Not since I don't know, 2016, I guess.
Yeah.
2016, like I was not like,
yeah.
There was no real excitement in 16. There was no real excitement in 20. Like I be taking up for Joe Biden right now, but in 2020 he was not my person. He was not my second person. He was not my third person. But he was what we had against the alternative.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe has gotten in there and he has done some good. He and his administration have done some good things. And like he said the other night, he's made some mistakes. You can't be doing nothing for 50 years and not make no mistakes. We've been married 30 years. You can't do nothing for any amount of time and not make some mistakes in it, okay?
But when you make one good choice.
We make one good choice, okay?
When you make one good choice.
When you make one good choice, we kind of racist.
It supersedes
but
some of those mistakes that you make.
And I know there's some people who Valerie says beyond lit. The hype has been real. Like, does anybody know? Because I don't know. How do you get to be a delegate? Like, I'm not a registered Democrat, but can I go?
Not as no delegate.
But they keep talking, and so they always talking about the undecideds, the independents, the people. They always chasing them, but ain't nobody chasing me. Why nobody chasing me?
I mean,
I'm an independent. Why nobody chasing me?
Oprah talked to you last night.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. When she said, all them independents, all you independents.
But I'm saying though, why nobody called me?
She spoke to you.
Why nobody called me and asked me to come to the convention?
Because
how do you get to be a delegate?
Because it's not an independent convention.
But, okay.
National convention is a Democrat.
So I got to be part of one of the parties in order to be invited as a delegate to their convention.
You will not get.
But if I want to sit in the rafters,
you're welcome.
I can be an independent.
Yeah.
Well, ain't nobody called me to sit in the rafters.
No, man, I don't.
And you know what's exciting? Like I've seen some people that I know at the convention. I try to get some people to bring me back some buttons, a bag, some swag. Like y'all bring me some.
So one of the people from the Freedom Caucus is at the convention. Y'all know what the Freedom Caucus is? The Freedom Caucus is the 8 of us that went down to the General Assembly on that Thursday, Wednesday. And when they said leave, they didn't give us time to leave, so they took us away. But the way we got that name was we were sitting in one of the rooms being processed. We were still at the General Assembly, and one of the people from the GOP came in the door and said, and so that he came in the door, and one of the officers said, "Can we help you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm looking for the Freedom Caucus." And I said, "We are the Freedom Caucus."
you just took somebody's name.
We are the Freedom Caucus. You see us in
We
here?
are here fighting
You
for
see us
freedom.
in here like this right here? We are the Freedom. So we took that name. So we are the Freedom Caucus.
Okay.
We are the Freedom
'Cause I
Caucus.
was like, what a Freedom Caucus?
The 8 of us are the Freedom Caucus. But one of the Freedom Caucus got invited to the convention to talk about. She's a child care worker. She's a daycare worker. She owns a daycare in Charlotte, and she was one of the ones that participated in the nonviolent direct action. And she got invited to go to the national convention to talk about daycare. So she is there, and also I spoke to Miss Sophia Jackson this morning to talk about some mail that I received, and just as how our campaign was going. And she told me she was at the convention. And
so Sophia Jackson, for those who don't know, she is running for House seat number 37, which is the district that we live in. She's not somebody who we know. She was not really a friend of ours. But this is what we mean when we say get engaged and get involved. If you're telling me you running for the seat that's going to represent where my house is, I need to know who you are.
Yeah, meet us at $3 for lunch.
And she did that.
The one at the
right way. We done told some people meet us at $3.
Don't go to the one in Ghana.
It didn't
Don't go to the one with the Ghana.
Even though it's in Ghana, don't go to Ghana because I think Jay will tell you.
Anybody, Jay, can you tell
Jay Dwayne will tell you who's a person who's not from here, who uses the GPS for everything. You said Ghana, but you know that ain't Ghana down in Clayton. You know Clayton ain't Ghana. It's like, well, that's what the GPS said. But the people who from here, you know, Ghana is
Ghana Station.
Big Lots.
That's right.
Ghana is Kickback Jacks.
Kickback Jacks.
Like, come over there. That's anyway. So we told her we want to holler at her. You know, this was after we had met her maybe once.
Trying road.
Let us holler at you because I need to see what your platform is. What are you running on? And that was really some pushback. Like, yeah, no, we don't believe that here. But she from Chicago. Like, no, here. This is what we think about things here.
Yeah.
This is what we think about school vouchers here.
Yeah.
Like, so I know in the past, at least for us, we look at these politicians and we treat them like celebrities. They are not. They are servants.
Mm-hmm.
They are here to serve us. They are put into office by the people to work for the people.
For the people.
So you have access to them. So anyway, Wayne was telling the story because we are in contact with Sophia. We want her to win because the alternative is Trump, Robinson, add her name. They all go together.
Yep.
So she need to go.
Scott Lasseter, all of them. That's like they all on the same team.
Yeah, she need to go. But anyway, so we've been, because we are unaffiliated, we are independents, we get the mail, we get all the mail. So because we don't know how we vote in this house. But yeah, so we get the mailers. So just been in touch, like Wayne said. So now you finished and you was calling her to find out how her campaign was going.
Oh yeah, but she's at the convention. The mayor of Durham, Leonardo Williams, is at the convention.
He spoke tonight from the big stage.
Sheila Huggins, she's from Durham.
Yep.
She's a delegate.
Y'all see Anthony Hamilton there the other night?
Anthony Hamilton was there.
Yeah. They shouted out the bishop.
No matter
Anderson,
what the people say.
The young lady Anderson, who is
we're gonna vote anyway.
President of the Democratic Party. She shouted out the people from North Carolina. Roy Cooper was standing right beside her, but she didn't shout him. I was like, girl, shout out the governor.
No, right? Shout out Anthony Hamilton.
She shouted out Anthony Hamilton. and Bishop William Barber.
Yes, the bishop, the good bishop. So, yeah. So, has anybody been watching the convention this week? Comments, put them in the chat. How you like it? Who's been your favorite? Um, how's it been going? And I did think after I've been watching this week. So, a couple weeks ago when the GOP had their convention, I turned it on for a few minutes each time. It was difficult really to watch. It was really difficult to watch. And again, because 15, 20 years ago, you probably could have watched both of them, and it would have been a lot of policy talk. Would have been a lot of political talk that maybe you kind of thought was boring and didn't want to hear. I mean, now it's a bunch of lies, it's just a bunch of conspiracy theories, it's all this stuff. But after watching this one this week, I wish I would have forced myself to watch just a little more, just to kind of get a feel. The theme, the foundation this week, regardless, they've had the celebrities, they've had the people, but the ongoing theme this week has been unity, togetherness. We are America. We are, everybody is somebody. They showed shout out Jesse Jackson. Everybody's somebody. That he was in the crowd, but that has been a lot of their message this week is that everybody counts, and no matter how you look, where you're from, how you love, how you pray, whether you don't pray, that everybody should be included in this democracy and have rights, and everybody should have a fair share. Everybody should have equality. And I've noticed that throughout the week that it has been that theme and that foundation. And just a little bit of the GOP, I mean, their message is unless you look like me, unless you're white, male, straight, Republican, gun owner,
Christian, don't leave that out.
Christian, those 6 things, you're welcome in this country, and we're here for you. If you don't fit in those categories, we really don't. I mean, you can come tag along with us and support us, but we're really not for you. And so it was just a big difference. But I kind of wish I would have watched maybe just a little bit more, than to see, kind of.
I mean, I think you probably saw enough. You saw a man who showed up with a big patch over his ear, like half of it was missing, and now we see that it's fully intact. Yeah, we saw people in the audience who had, I don't know, maxi pads,
on their
taped to their ear. So we saw what the cult looks like. We saw what their roll call was so boring. That roll call the other night that they said was going to take 30 minutes, that took almost an hour and 15 minutes, but it was lit.
It was lit.
Lil Jon coming down there for Georgia, turned down for what?
Yeah. And
we was here for it. We was here for it.
And did y'all hear him when he said Kamala Harris and Tim Walz?
Like from the window,
from the window to the wall.
Yeah.
When he said Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then add in the rest.
This is the energy. Like this is the culture. Like,
add in the rest of what the other party can do.
Hey EJ, glad to see you on tonight. There has been some questions about, are you still undecided? So at some point we need to bring you on.
Hold on, EJ.
There needs to be a check-in.
All right, EJ, I'm finna send you a link, bro. And because the people been asking.
Just drop the link in the chat. Anybody who wants to come up, anybody who's got something to say. Let us know. So again, the other themes for this week at the DNC has been freedom.
Yep.
And joy.
Yes.
Last night I did see Oprah do her joy like she does with the car thing. I did see that. At Common Sense Over Nonsense. So if anybody comes up, tell us what does freedom look like to you? What does freedom mean to you? Freedom for me is like one of the things is showing up as I am everywhere, and not having to fit myself in a box or try to be what somebody thinks I should be. Like I live outside of that. So That's freedom. Freedom is feeling like me, my family, my friends can be safe in a place that our ancestors have built.
Yes.
You know, this country was built on the backs of our ancestors, so we should be free to move around in these bodies and not feel the threat of death.
That's right.
That's freedom. And joy is like where you find it. And I like how, you know, the Donald took that and taking the literary. She, where Trump was teasing her about her laugh, and you know, they said you don't, obviously you don't know what joy looks like, because having this laugh is kind of joyous. And her husband the other night said he loved that laugh. So
Yes.
yeah. So anybody want to come up and tell us, what is freedom? What does freedom mean to you? Drop it in the chat.
It was Darlene. Darlene
What does
says,
joy look like to you?
Darlene says her we were talking about Oprah. Oh, hold on. Darlene comment.
Oh, Darlene was talking about Michelle Obama.
No, I thought she just said that.
That was
that was Michelle. Okay. Yeah, her speech was awesome. Okay.
Michelle Obama's speech.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I mean, it's been all positive. And then you see today. So I don't know if y'all saw last night when the vice president candidate Tim Walz was giving his speech. His son, camera went to his son. His son was crying, all emotional. That's my dad. You know, telling his mom, telling the people all around him, that's my dad. All of that. And Ann Coulter, I think,
and not just her. A lot of those people on that
on the
side.
other side. So
I think Hillary Clinton called them deplorables.
Yeah,
we're gonna go with that.
So yeah, they are. They really. So
we're gonna go with that.
So she posts on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it today. She puts a picture up of him with his face, you know, all tore up, crying, and said, "Talk about weird." So first of all, you know, this young boy, 17 years old, is first of all proud of his father for what he's done in his life. Proud of his father for being, you know, he's already a governor, but being the vice presidential candidate. But he also has ADHD. He has, it was called.
Oh, no, they just said he has a neurodivergent. Neurodivergent. So there's something that's cognitive.
Yeah.
But even without that.
But I mean, for them to make fun again of someone who's, you know, willing to show their emotions and willing to be proud of their father in that moment, and to have that emotion. And when you have those emotions, that means you have emotions and compassion for other people.
Yeah.
So when you are willing to be vulnerable, you know, not only on, you know, where probably half the world is watching, and you don't care, that allows you to have compassion. That allows you to have empathy for other people. And that's what some people do not have. And you know, and to criticize and vilify and dehumanize people for that, is really sad. It's really sad.
I'm smiling because right at this time we hear Riley running back and forth by the door.
Yeah.
Again, Riley normally doesn't speak a lot. She's not verbal a lot. But on podcast nights,
she got to talk. She got to talking.
Podcast night, Riley got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear her. Her parents are here, so don't think we just closed her out. Her parents are here.
Yeah, it's good parenting going on. We didn't just put out. Yeah. But nephew, if you still there, the link is in the comments in the chat. People been asking if you made a choice decision. Feel free to come on. Anyone else that would like to hop on real quick, feel free, join in, hit that link, and
don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
It's just a conversation. Just a conversation with Kelli and Wayne.
We got all the kinks out of the way earlier.
We did.
So I did. I saw.
And we're not gonna be on here long because Madam VP is making a speech. So
yeah, I mean it'll be.
We're out of here on time tonight.
I mean, she ain't gonna speak to them.
That's okay.
I got time for a long disembarkation. No, we're not gonna do that.
Unless y'all want to keep us. And y'all got something to say, we're here to entertain it.
Yes. But we so away from politics and away from the Democratic National Convention for a few moments. Oh yeah, so So I had someone on the phone that is at the Democratic National Convention. I asked them about the protest that was going on outside because last night we turned on another news station because we noticed that throughout the week, not just there's been several news stations and nobody's really been covering the protests outside, the Palestinian protests. And so, of course, Fox News was covering that. They had two people on there, and they had one of the there was one of the reporters on there that had a short video that showed what was happening at the protest. And there was a gentleman that had an American flag that was walking through all the Palestinian flags. Of course, they were having their little words, and he was like, "Hey, this is my country. I'm gonna fly my flag. You can fly your flag." Yada yada yada. So the anchor, I don't even want to call him anchor, the entertainer on Fox News, because they're not news people. They said that
they had to pay $800 million.
$8 million for lying, and they made a statement that said we're not a news outlet. We're only here for entertainment.
Yeah.
So the night show host for entertainment said, "Hey, Billy Bob, you played that video. I want to talk about it. What was going on out there?" So the gentleman said, yes, there was protest. You saw the man with the American flag, but the Chicago police, they handled it well. There's been crowds out here. There has been some protesting going on, but I think overall the Chicago Police Department has handled everything well. And he said, and for the most part, things have been peaceful. The protests have been peaceful. This is the reporter who was out in the field taking the video. Well, the commentator, who's not a news reporter, but just an entertainer, decided that was not good enough. So he comes back and says, "Oh yeah, well, thank you, because we know these protests it's been riots out here." I mean, he just did not want to hear that. So he goes back to his talking points to make a big deal and try to make more out of what was going on than what was really happening. So I asked someone that I was speaking to today who was in Chicago about the protest. And they said, yeah, they're out there. And I said, well, has it been, like unruly? No, I mean, it's been peaceful protest for the most part. It's not been distractions, and it's not been a big thing. And again, it's trying to make a big deal out of nothing. People have the right to the Second Amendment. I mean, the First Amendment.
Right.
So people have
for now.
Project
2025.
Project 2025. You know what those people will get if someone gets into office and Project 2025 takes place? Those people will potentially be shot. They'll get class 1 felons. They could get run over. And actually, individuals can come down there, don't even have to be law enforcement, and can shoot and injure protesters. And those people will not get charged for it, potentially, because they can say, "Oh, I feared for my life. I was so scared of the rioters. I was so scared, so I just started shooting everybody." And there's nothing going to happen to them. So
Rittenhouse sound familiar?
Yeah. So
Kyle Rittenhouse sound familiar?
That is legislation that they are trying to push. And so pretty much, if you don't like what we do, too bad, too sad. You better not come out in these streets and try to do nothing or say nothing about it, or we'll put the military on you, or we'll send someone down there there will be no more peaceful assemblies.
And of course, we believe in the right to protest. Like, go let your voice be heard.
Yes.
But we talked about a little bit last time, like you have to be nonpartisan about that. Like, if this is your issue, if this is your line in the sand, you can't just. That's right.
Hey.
You can't just take your fight to one side. Donald Trump, who's running to be president of the United States on the Republican side, met with Benjamin Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago.
Mm-hmm.
So if he gets into office and he hasn't heard from you as a protester, maybe he's going to think it's not an issue. And so this is what I mean when people say, well, they're the same. They both the same size of, two sides of the same coin. They are not, because you see that they're only one side. They feel safe enough, and that where they can carry out what is still democracy in this country. You show up to the party that you know that you're probably not going to be killed. and exercise your First Amendment rights. The fact that they don't do that on the other side says a lot. And again, I understand if this is your issue, and I really like what Senator Raphael Warnock from Georgia said about that. I want children everywhere to be okay.
Everywhere.
I want children on the other side of the tracks here to be okay. I want my neighbors' children to be okay. I need for the people around me to be okay, so then I'm okay. Because if you're not okay, I'm not okay. Again, Fannie Lou Hamer has said, my freedom, your freedom is shackled and chained to mine.
Yep.
And until I'm free, you're not free either. So I need everybody to be free. We're not, when we talk about children, we need to talk about children in the Congo. We need to talk about the children in Haiti. We need to talk about all the lives that have been
Somalia.
All of the lives that are being genocide everywhere. We need to be holding these people accountable for wherever we have our hand and our money. We need to be holding them accountable for everything. Sitting out, I don't know how these are the people that you are going to want to hold accountable. Voting is just the first step. You vote them in and then you hold them accountable.
Yes.
But again, I will lecture, but I'm not going to lecture. Whatever your thing is, your thing is. I am a one issue voter. My issue is I want to live. I want to be left alone. I want to be able to go to my Black job and come home safely. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to move about the country safely. That is my one issue. That's my one issue. And so when I go to the polls and vote for president and their administration, that is how I will be marking my ballot.
Yes. Exactly. That's good. I mean, that's what you need to do. And understand that there's really two potential winners. This is, a binary decision. Unfortunately,
it's what we have. It's a two-party system. It sucks. It's what we have, but it's what we have.
Yep. And one of these parties are going to be making decisions. Yes, that impact globally some decisions, but also in your neighborhood, in your house, in your community, in your state, in your nation. That's going to impact you every day. It's going to impact you every day. So, are there any
Nobody wanted to take us up on coming on?
No, nobody. I'm saying I don't know what. Somebody click that link down there. Click that link. Come on, join us. Maybe.
I gotta get my lighting right. Y'all let me know how what this lighting look like. It looks on my monitor. It looks crispy.
Oh, I don't. Oh yeah. Can y'all tell us apart? Was the lighting good?
Right. You know who is who? I'm Kelli.
Maybe.
Oh, I just touched my shirt. So I'm wearing. This says the Married Bunch.
Yes, the Married
shirt.
Bunch.
So last weekend, Wayne and I went to record a podcast with this group, the Married Bunch. We're gonna drop their information in the website. We need to get with Nico too, because he got his podcast everywhere. Wherever you can find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Yeah. So look for the Married Bunch. Our episode will not drop until September, but we went to talk about being married.
Yes, for 31 years.
We know a little something about it.
31 years. When you make one good decision.
It only takes one good one.
One good decision.
Get you a good black woman.
Get you a good one.
Get you a good black woman.
Or just get one. Get a bad one. Just get one.
Right. Watch the black wife effect. Just watch it. Anyway, shout out to them for giving us this shirt. We both got one. Kind of looks like
I don't have mine.
The Brady Bunch, but we know you got to represent all the time.
Yeah.
So shout out to Mr. Nico Easton and his wife and that crew. Again, we'll drop it. We'll drop it in the chat so y'all can check them out.
Yes.
And let you all know when our episode drops so that you all can go support them.
And we're gonna have them on here.
Return support us.
Yeah, and it was amazing too. It was
good.
It really was.
Because these are young couples. These are we're probably old enough to be all of their parents. Do you see the link for? Oh,
hold on, Miss.
We got 5 minutes now.
I mean, that's all right. She can come on in and say hey. She's gonna right on here.
And darling, we
hey.
appreciate you because you are one of our faithfuls. Like when we're here, you're here.
Yes.
So we appreciate you showing up. Like I said,
I could have did that while ago.
We mentioned that on our at the when we're doing this podcast that we just had the audacity to think people might want to hear what we have to say. So just started running this little podcast. We don't put a lot of work into it because y'all already know we're busy. But we are going to maybe at the beginning of the year have a little more. But we appreciate people like you for always showing up.
Hit that link, Darlene. Hit that link, Sister Darlene. If you it's in the,
if you want to come up, if you want to come,
if you want to come on, put it in the chat. We can bring you on for just a few.
Or
minutes. Anybody else. But yeah, so we do appreciate it, and we're still learning, and you know,
we've been doing it for a year.
More than a year now.
I thought you did. We did our anniversary. Remember, you put it in the chat. I thought we were just doing like a year.
No, I think it's been more than a year.
So we've been doing it like this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think when we revamped it, our we need to ask our we can't say the name, but our marketing genius is on our committee.
He would know.
Yeah, he would know because we were in the chat with all.
I remember we got this logo. It was Super Bowl. We was trying to get some chicken wings and nobody wouldn't sell us none. Remember when we was talking to him in the car?
Oh yeah. So
we done drove around to all these wing stops.
Mm-hmm.
They had stopped taking orders for chicken wings.
Yeah, but yeah,
and we were going to a Super Bowl party.
But we appreciate it, and prayerfully and hopefully, it's gonna somebody's gonna see it, and they can take it.
Oh yeah, we don't even know what we say that, but what do we want to do with it? Like,
I don't know. We just want to keep being us.
I want to be invited to the DNC. I'm just still trying to figure out why nobody called me.
I mean,
why nobody called me?
Somebody
Has
called.
Anybody been polled? You know how they put these poll numbers out?
Somebody call Kelli, please.
I mean, too late now. I done missed it. I done missed Michelle Obama.
I mean,
I done missed Mayor Leonardo Williams.
I mean, it is going to be on for 3 more hours tonight. Just call her.
It's too late. I wanted to be in Chicago.
Call
it's too
her
late.
And invite her. You don't even have to be. It don't matter who you are.
It's too late.
If you see this,
call me and tell me why I'm not there because I see people who I recognize. So somebody there can tell me how to get there.
If you see this podcast 3, 5, 6 weeks from now, call Kelli and invite her to the DNC.
So I can be there for Madam Vice President's second DNC.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you got to do first. You're going to have to change.
I'm not doing that.
Well, then you ain't going.
I'm not doing that.
Especially not no
I want somebody who knows to tell me.
So you think you're gonna be in the roll call and they're gonna say,
for a Democratic delegate,
and they're gonna say North Carolina, you're gonna say, I stand up and
no, I can be in the crowd. I can be in the crowd. Nope, I can be in the crowd.
Yeah, I mean you can be in the crowd. You could have went to the one in Milwaukee
because I'm trying to figure out how Anthony Hamilton get to be a delegate. He live here for real.
Anthony Hamilton say no matter what the people say.
No matter what the people say, he's gonna break all the rules.
Yes, I mean he say that. He say no matter what the people say. I mean, he Anthony Hamilton. I would invite him. Yeah, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
But there was one thing that was really fired, and I did do a poll the other week.
Somebody called you?
Yes, and it's one of the. I've only probably done. Anthony is from Charlotte. That's right. That's why he was with the North Carolina people.
Well, I know he's from here, but do he live here?
He from here. He got roots here.
I'm just saying, Anthony's in Chicago, and I'm here.
You see that big fedora he had on too? Anthony's a cool joker.
Like, we got tickets to see him soon?
No. The D-Pack is tripping. I'm going to tell y'all. The D-Pack, D-Pack is tripping with their prices.
Oh, he was coming though?
He don't mean.
Oh, we missed him?
Yeah.
That's another show.
The D-Pack was tripping. We're going to see we're going to see Maxwell and Jasmine.
Okay.
And then we're going to see Kurt and the family.
Okay.
And I may have 2 tickets. I may have 2 extra tickets for Kurt Franklin.
Wow.
I may have 2 tickets.
Okay.
So if you see this podcast, you know who I'm talking to. If you see this or your mama see this, if your mama see
You know
this,
who you are.
you know who you are. Call your daughter and tell
Give
her
me my money.
if she want to go. If I don't want. Yeah.
Oh, Lordy.
But one thing that was also fire this week, and I will say the marketing and the I guess the marketing, the communication, whatever from this has been on point. Because when they were in Chicago on Tuesday night, when the second night, I don't even know what night it was, the second night. And when the Chicago United Center was packed from the ceiling to the floor.
Yes.
And they said, we're going to flash over to Milwaukee right quick, where the vice president is making a speech with Tim Walz. And they showed the center and they showed the place in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And it was packed from the
90 miles apart
to the floor.
90 miles apart.
And I know somebody somewhere, I don't know where they were, but they were like, I crowd size, and nobody spoke. They were doing this.
AI generated.
They couldn't figure out what was going on. They couldn't figure out what was going on. All right, so Darlene, we're gonna send you get with your daughters, find out how to click a link, and within the next couple of weeks, we're gonna get you on where we'll make you famous. I mean, you'll never know. You might be here one day on Joy Reid, Joy Aaron show the next. I mean, you'll never know.
We got connection.
I mean, you'll never know.
We're 1 degree separated from Joy.
We 1 degree separated from Joy. We won. So, I mean, you just never know. You never know.
All right, we're going to disembark. So I'm going to start my disembarkation with something that is personally I am guilty of. So I just kind of wanted to say the right thing said at the wrong time is wrong. Okay? So even if you think it's right, if you say it at the wrong time, it is wrong.
Yes.
I'm guilty. I take ownership of that. So if someone is excited to tell you something that's happening for them, and first of all, you are deciding based on their history, what they've done, how they start things, how they don't finish things, and you don't encourage them in that moment to pursue their dreams, even if it's right at that time, right at that moment, it's not the right time to say it. So it's not right. Give them time to settle into their excitement. Maybe the next day or two, say, hey, let's talk about, this big thing you were telling me about. This big thing you were telling me about. Let's just talk about it. We don't immediately want to be dream killers, even if it's the right thing. Stop. So I'll just say that. Let's just be mindful. Let's be kind to people. Let's be kind to people, even if it's the truth, and stop saying, well, that's just how I am, because you can be different. You can be different.
Yes.
Give people some grace. Be kind to people. Let people live their dreams.
Yes.
Okay. I got another meeting at 9, so I'm leaving early.
I'm just thinking, I don't even know what it was that I told you a couple months ago. You was like, that's ambitious.
I'm just saying. And I know you. You already know I know.
That's when you said starting stuff and don't finish stuff. And I don't even know what I told you, but the words out of your mouth and the look, that's ambitious.
That was encouraging, though.
No.
For me to say that's ambitious.
No. Oh,
but I'm working on that. I'm working on it. I'm working on that. We all need to do some self-reflection sometime and see what are things that we can work on within ourselves. And I'm going to take ownership of that. The right thing said at the wrong time is wrong. Period.
What else they do? Okay, disembarkation. I knew we were getting off this boat, but I really hate to see people go. But yeah, I had a couple and they slipped my mind today. And then with all the stuff at the beginning, kind of messed me up. But you know, when you hit some bumps in the road, when you hit some hills to climb, when you hit some things that kind of stop you in your tracks, slow your momentum, know that what you are doing, that you still can do, and make sure you have a group, make sure you have some people, make sure you have somebody who supports you no matter what. Whether it doesn't matter what it is. Know your circle, and know your friends. Because we all go through some things. We all have ups and downs. We all struggle every now and then. We all have moments where we feel like quitting, giving up. I'm not good enough. I can't. But you ought to have some people in your group, in your circle, that when you tell that to them, that they do lift you up and encourage you and let you know that, it's not about what you can do for somebody or your accomplishments. It's because of who you are, that you're special. And, that everything gonna be all right.
I got us, then we gonna be all right. Kendra told us. All right.
That's what Kendra Lamar said.
Kendra Lamar told us we're gonna be all right.
Lamar said. All right. So I know you ain't gonna like this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I am, and because you're not going you're not gonna say the wrong thing at the wrong time. You paying attention to me?
What?
I have an whole conversation with you here.
What'd you say?
No. All right, we out. Oh, hold on. I did want to do something real quick, and we're gonna go off after this and not come back and say nothing.
Okay.
But at the beginning, when I played the Hey Gene, when I played Fannie Lou Hamer, the sound did not come through, so I do want to play that again.
Oh, play us out.
Yep, I'm gonna play us out with Fannie Lou Hamer. So give me just a second to get it, and so. Let me get it.
Oh, Aunt Shang said she couldn't come on, but the exonerated 5 were on at the DNC talking about how Trump called for their execution. And Reverend Al Sharpton said that's the only time he ever came out to talk about anything about race. To kill 5 teenagers,
that's
5
right.
children.
That's right. Y'all give me just 1 second. Tell Auntie there's a message on here she need to go look at. Fine. Please go find it. She need to share a message with somebody. All right. When we go here.
I also put the link to the video in the chat.
Yep. So I do want. Okay, audio share.
He was always
Nope.
Mr. Chairman, and to the Credentials Committee, my name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Roosevelt, Mississippi. Sunflower County, the home of Senator James O. Eastland and Senator Stennis. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens. We were met in Indianola by policemen, highway patrolmen, and they only allowed 2 of us in to take the literacy test at the time. After we had taken this test and started back to Roosevelt, we was held up by the city police and the state highway patrolmen and carried back to Indianola, where the bus driver was charged that day with driving a bus the wrong color. After we paid the fine among us, we continued on to Roosevelt, and Reverend Jeff Sonny carried me 4 miles in the rural area where I had worked as a timekeeper and sharecropper for 18 years. I was met there by my children that told me the plantation owner was angry because I had gone down, tried to register. After they told me, my husband came and said the plantation owner was raising Cain because I had tried to register. And before he quit talking, the plantation owner came and said, Fannie Lou, do you know, did Pap tell you what I said? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I mean that if you don't go down and withdraw your registration, you will have to leave. Said, then if you go down and withdraw, that you still might have to go because we are not ready for that in Mississippi. Well, and I addressed him and told him that I didn't try to register for you. I tried to register for myself. I had to leave that same night. All of this is on account of we want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off of the hook because our lives be threatened daily because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.